Next on the agenda, we have the Vikings at the Raiders, which is sadly an improvement over some of the games we've started with. Josh Dobbs, what did I tell you? After everyone saying how great Josh Dobbs was 2-3 games later, they're talking about benching him. They said they're going to stick with him, but surprise, surprise, Josh Dobbs isn't actually good. We got Dobbs versus O'Connell or Rod Farva. The matchups here, as I scroll up a second, the matchups are 7th worst for Josh Dobbs and the 20th best for Rod Farva. I don't really like either matchup. Dobbs, you are going to play. I think he's a solid wide receiver. Quarterback 2 for me. He is. I have him at 15. O'Connell, I have at 25. So you're playing Dobbs in a 2 QB league, or if you're desperate in a 1 QB league, and you're avoiding O'Connell unless you're really screwed.
Thoughts? Yeah, I'm with you. Dobbs is QB 13. He's going to be a high-end QB 2. It's like you're talking about. It's just weird. On the outside looking in, if you've seen their quarterback room, it's Jaren Hall. It's gross. So for them to move on from Dobbs, that would tell you all you need to know. But yeah, you're just chasing the fancy points and rushing upside.
Didn't the coach openly trash how bad Jaren Hall was last season?
Yeah,
Jaren Hall. Press conference said, "Well, I don't need to see him play. I've seen him practice." Not a vote of confidence.
That's why, right when Kirk Cousins went injured, they go, "Nope, we're not doing this," and they went on and got Dobbs.
Why don't you just cut the guy if you hate him that much?
I know, right? Give him a shot. O'Connell, it's desperation QB2 and Superflex. That's it. But he can get you there. He can give you 15 if you really needed it. Because I know the matchup is not great, but I don't trust the Minnesota defense, so I would be okay rolling him out in that situation.
Running backs, 9th best matchup for the Vikings, 3rd worst for the Raiders. Having said that, Josh Jacobs is my highest. He is a RB2. He's 14 overall. I have both Vikings, I think, close. I have 28 for Madison, 31 for Chandler. I don't feel bad about either. If you need a 3 or a flex, I could play either. Josh Jacobs, even in the bad matchup, is an easy start in it as a 2. What do you think?
Yep, I'm with you. You just chase the volume with Jacobs. And if he goes boom, then you get the monster performance where he puts you 25 plus points. But realistically, he's had some good games, some in between games. That just really comes down to touchdowns for him. Because he's been 20, he's been 5, 11, 21, and 15. So he's been kind of all over the place. No surprise, he has 5 touchdowns in that span, it looks like. So yeah, the big games come with touchdowns. The medium games do not. But it's going against the Vikings defense where I know the stats say one thing. I still just don't trust them as well. So Jacobs is running back 16 for me this week. I'm firing him up. I'm going to trust Madison's volume. He's still the guy, even though it's been ugly and all of that stuff. It's been him over Chandler and all those guys. I think Madison's RB25, and the next highest is, Amir Abdullah and Ty Chandler are back-to-back for me. 15.
Oh, I have Chandler way higher.
Yeah. It's I don't know why I'm so low on Chandler this week. I need to fix that because that does not make sense looking at it. So I'll probably move them up to the 40s. But at the moment, that's where they're sitting. And it's those two and then nobody else.
Wide receivers, 15th best matchup for the Raiders, 6th worst for the Vikings. Having said that, Justin Jefferson, I expect to be back. He is my wide receiver 7. Devontae Adams, 17. Scrolling. Wide receiver 32 is Jordan Addison. Jacoby Myers at 38. The end. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. Yes, that's it. It's these 4 guys. You're not playing KJ Osborne or anything like that. Yeah, we get Justin Jefferson back. He's wide receiver 9. I am curious to see if he runs all the routes. I'm assuming he's going to, but this is why he's wide receiver 9 and not higher. It's just being a little trepidation with him in his first game back. But, hey, this is good news for Josh Dobbs, right? Because you get one of the best, if not the best wide receiver football coming back. You're starting Justin Jefferson everywhere. Same thing with Devontae Adams. He's wide receiver 13. Adams is a stud, gets volume. Addison becomes more of a flex play with Jefferson coming in because he's really going to usurp that. So it does worry me a little bit about Addison. He's a few spots above Jacoby Myers. It's just, I do worry about Dobbs as a quarterback in general. So it hurts Addison a little bit. So he's wide receiver 28, and then Myers is wide receiver 38. He's been viable with O'Connell, which is more than I thought he was. So I'll take it for Myers.
Bottom 12 matchups for both tight ends. Having said that, Hawkinson is still my 2. Michael Mayer, I am currently moving up in my rankings. He is 16 overall, so the 2 and the 16, despite relatively bad matchups, not really bad enough to affect them. The kickers here, we have, where the hell is he? Daniel Carlson, 7th best matchup. 15th best matchup for Greg Joseph. I want nothing to do with Joseph. Carlson hasn't been great, but he's been coming on, so I don't mind starting him. He is top 12 in my rankings. DST's 10th best matchup for Vikings, 12th best matchup for the Raiders. I will play the Vikings as a top 12, I think, I would say, and I want nothing to do with the Raiders. Let me check. I have the Vikings. Actually, I have the Vikings at 15, and I have the Raiders at 28. So that's where I fall there. Any disagreements?
No, I'm with you. This is the first time I've actually had Hawkinson outside like the top 2 tight ends with Jefferson back. I think you kind of have to make a decision between Hawkinson and Addison, who takes the bigger hit. I think it's going to be Addison, honestly. But like you kind of, when you're doing rankings and decisions, like I think those are the two you differentiate on. Because if you're not Addison, you drop Hawkinson a little bit, but I'm dropping Addison more. I trust Hawkinson. He's still a tight end 3.